All right, Starkey, you got one of the best Yorkers in the world. What are you thinking about when you're bowling a Yorker?
It's a bit of a go-to for me at different times, depending on different batsmen, conditions, how I'm bowling, I guess, as well. But yeah, it seems to be a weapon of mine, whether with the new ball or the old, depending again on where we are in the game situation. For me, working on the Yorker, it was always looking at the stumps. So I'll run in with an aim of the base of the stumps, and then depending on where that first one is, whether it's too short, then I'll change my focus to higher up the stump. Again, if it's too full or a full toss, I'll change my focus to lower on the stump. I like to focus on the stumps because they don't move.
Yep.
Whereas a batsman in the shorter formats especially, they move around the crease a lot, whereas the stump stays still, so that's where I can get a clear focus.
Oh, straight through! Perfection from Mitchell Starc.
The only difference I'd change with my wrist or the ball is obviously if it's new, it's going to swing naturally, and if it's old, if that's the rough side of an old ball, I'll change so it reverses hopefully in at the stumps, and hopefully I can knock a few pegs out.
Oh, no! It's the Yorker.
And obviously you're trying to bowl that as fast as you can. It's a real, every ball's an effort ball, but that one especially, you've got to give it everything, don't you?
Yeah, you do. It can be a surprise ball at times as well, when especially down later in an innings when batsmen are trying to go large or try and score quick runs, and then they need to try and hit a boundary. My thought process is if I can hit a Yorker at their crease, you don't want to be able to give them anything to get under. So if they're deeper in their crease, that's I guess going back to focusing on the stumps, the only time you want to change where you're landing the ball is depending on whether they're a bit further out to you or closer back on the stumps. You don't want to give them anything to get under, because guys these days can still hit Yorkers that are a little bit off. They can still hit them for 6.
And we talk about wide Yorkers, straight Yorkers. Do you have a preference? How do you know when to bowl one compared to the other?
Most of the time mine are at the stumps, because if they miss it, it's going to be hitting the stumps and they're out. But to some guys who are quite good at hitting a Yorker away, or who have got that ability to just clear the rope from anywhere, you might have to change with wide Yorkers or changing the angle from over and around the wicket as well. There's guys who obviously like to lap and move around that probably like it more at the stumps, because they can get their eye line in it and get under it. Someone like a Joss Buttler perhaps, and you might have to go a bit wider. It's reading the player that you're bowling to and the conditions, and even the size of the ground sometimes. It might be really long straight, could be short square, but you don't want to miss and you don't want to be predictable either.
Oh, clean rip, middle stump. The brilliance of Starc.
That's what we like, Mitchell Starc. Pace, swing at the stumps, full. Excellent stuff from Mitchell Starc.